here's your quick overview of the big ideas about finding articles on your topic. So we're in the library, library.pdx.edu, and one place we're going to go is research tools and collections. Here, we're going to go to research help and subject guides. And then in subject guides, you can scroll down to education, I think, and then you have all these choices. Sarah recommended education topics and research overview as one place to start. Research starters in education, and then also resources for research overviews. This is where there are things like the Handbook of Reading Research, these big, some word other than seminal pieces. Foundational, so much better. Thank you, Anita. Okay, so she suggested you spend an hour kind of exploring these education subject guides. That's one thing. Then you can go to back here to the library. You can go to research guides and tutorials. Oh, there it was. I saw it. Did you? Research guides and tutorials. I just had it. Where did it go? You saw it. I know you did. Okay. Research guides and tutorials. And then there's a section on how-to guides and tutorials here. And there's a section on managed citations with doTERRA, Mendeley, and EndNote. So that's not kind of in the same category as how do I find the articles about my topic, but it's just something that's in this part of the website. It's kind of not what I wanted to present next, but here we are. Okay, now the next item is going to library again and going to databases and articles down here. And then one of the databases she recommended was this Oxford, whoa now, settle, Oxford bibliographies online. Boom. I mean, gracious. I mean, wow, see? They're everywhere. My vocabulary is littered with nonsense. Okay. Library, databases, articles, Oxford bibliographies. Okay, and you can browse by subject here. And she recommended spending an hour kind of cruising around in here as well. Kind of just see what's there. And then after that, the next step she recommended was going to Google Scholar, I think. Is that the next place she said? Yes. Okay, the next place she recommended was going to Google Scholar. So back to the library. 3 minutes left. We're doing good. Okay, so if you're at home, or either way, it's a good idea to log in. It'll give you a prompt to log in, and that way when you go to Google Scholar, it will link you directly to the articles. I think it's under databases, right? Databases and articles. Okay, is it just under here? Really? The old Google Scholar. There it is. Boom. See, I can't stop it. All right. I mean, I can stop it. I just haven't yet. Anyway, see, this is educative in all kinds of ways. Okay. So this is where I write like all my different terms. Right. It finds every instance of a word in an article about the context. So this is not where you want to start because it's without the context. So don't start here. But this can help you find particular journals to follow because you can look at what kinds of journals are appearing lots here. And then she talked to us about some education databases. The most well-known of those is ERIC. Let's see here. Eric, where did you go? Okay, Eric. and she recommended going through EBSCO interface just because it's a little easier, and that you can start with the thesaurus. That was really helpful. So you might even do that before the Google Scholar thing that I just showed you. Thesaurus, where are you at? Here. And then you can search, you can scroll. It's helpful to just kind of see what the grain size is here. And then, okay, um, when you do an actual ERIC search, you don't want to limit it to full text. Here, don't do this. She said use the education level here. She said do use the publication type and consider things like guides for curriculum material, information analyses, which are kind of at a meta level, reports, which are evaluations of program, and journal articles for sure are going to be of interest. What Works Clearinghouse is maybe potentially useful, also like wildly problematic at the same time. So, proceed with caution there. In this, you're going to be stingy with the number of words you use. Don't change this to or because apparently things go haywire. And then you can use the Find It at PSU to get the article. And then if you go, I'm almost done, Anita. Let's see. If you go back here, library, bing, and databases, I was actually just there. And then you go here by subject. You can go to education. You can go to education research complete. And this has an EBSCO interface, but it's not the same thing as ERIC. And you don't need to limit this to journals because that's most of what they have. But this is where you can start to notice if there are some journals that come up more than others. Okay, I'll just put this in. So here, search, and then here we can look at the publication and see urban education is a hot one for this topic. I am creating in Zotero. I have already created this folder of our individual collections, and so what Brad will do is click here, and when he goes to add an article, he's gonna click on his little connector and it'll go into his folder, and he can add, and as can you, subfolders here so that he can organize things how he wants. But this way we can see what you're doing in Zotero, so can your colleagues. You can share articles together, and also we don't have to ask you to write up separate summaries because about articles, because we can just have you add notes. So I'm not going to fill this out right now, but we are going to ask you to annotate your articles using this function, details to follow. Okay? That's pretty good. I feel like I did a good job. And then the other stuff is all the details about Zotero, and I'm going to let the internet be your guide there. See, Anita, I did it, and I'm only a minute late.